Just
Well, very nice to meet you, Kay.
yes.
To meet you guys.
So excited to meet
I
you.
love the way that we accidentally connected.
Yes.
That
I
was
was
the
so
that was the most
embarrassed. And it was like one after another. And you're like, oh, yeah, Orlando, my name. And I'm like, where are you from? Like, I literally just said my name. I'm like, oh my God, I swear I'm not that stupid.
He gets that a lot though, and we used to be from Orlando.
Yeah, he told
Now
me.
he's Orlando from Dallas. It's always a confusion. Like, wait, no, what's your name?
it's it's much nicer now though, because I don't get that as much. But when we lived in Orlando, it was a constant thing. It was just constant.
Yeah. Oh my
So
God, how funny. Well, I
funny.
feel better that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, yeah. So where are you from?
Dallas, actually.
Really?
Yes, Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
But originally, I am from Laos. I was born in
Oh,
Laos, and then I came here when I was 12 years old.
oh, amazing. And how long have you been away from Dallas?
Um, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in
awesome.
San Diego for 6 years now.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
husband in the
Wait, do you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like love
I
hate
never want to.
relationship. Love hate relationship. You just
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I never want to assume people love where they live. Like, so I don't always want to say amazing right away, but
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it is. It's like, oh wow, it's good. And then you have it good and you go to Texas, back to Texas. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to San Diego. So
Weather's much nicer there from what I hear.
yes.
Amazing. Is it because your husband's in the military?
I was a travel nurse
Oh,
and
okay.
then just decided to stay here. Yeah.
Oh,
I met my
fantastic.
husband here after.
Amazing.
Oh,
Amazing.
love it.
So how did you get into Sub 2? I always want to know how people found out about Sub 2.
Well, you see pace videos everywhere, but I was doing business actually. We were buying businesses, and then I got really busy. And then when I found out the system, and then I was freeing up my time, and then because I just felt like I outgrown my current business, and I was like, I really need to invest in myself and start learning new things. And pays just keep popping up. I'm like, maybe we'll do this real estate thing, and that's how I joined Sub 2. And I was like, you know what, let's just focus on investing in real estate. And that's how I got started on Sub 2. And there are just so many things you can do with real estate. Then you get this, what do you call that symptom? Um,
Shiny
The
object.
shiny object.
Finding object, like, oh my God, what am
Hi,
what
visionary.
did I
Nice to meet
do? Yes. Yeah,
you.
I was just going around and around, but I was still, consuming a lot of content, just understanding just all these tools that you can use. And I just leave it in my back pocket. And then one of the Zooms that Pace said, like, just focus on something you're good at. And I'm like, gosh, okay, what am I good at? And I'm like, well, I'm good with assisted living and you get real estate with it, and I kind of just went off from there.
So you took your
Amazing.
practical work experience, started getting into the assisted living facility business acquisition, and now
Yes,
you're here.
yes. So it's Sub
And
2.
you were buying businesses before Sub 2, right?
I was. Yeah,
Amazing.
that was like, like I was telling you in my text, I'm like, I don't know how we did that. Like it was just one thing led to another, and then we just acquire one, and then like we don't know how we did it. Like seriously.
That would be an amazing story for you to go back and
Yeah,
just like on your even a YouTube or something, since you're doing Project Forward as well, like
yeah,
tell your story about how you've gone through
Yeah.
everything, the mistakes, the successes, and everything like that. That would be fascinating to watch.
Journey of happy accidents.
yeah. Journey.
Because truly, like, I feel like it was like an accident that I found Pace as well.
Yeah,
And I actually just accidentally did my first podcast and didn't know it right
accident,
before it
right?
happened.
You pushed us
Yes.
to take action, and now we got accidentally, meeting each other and creating more
Yes.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I love this Project Forward that we're doing because it's literally like if you want to be part of the next one, you have to do the homework. And so
Right.
it's like, fear not, whatever it is that your holdups have
Yeah.
been, you're going in and it's a
About to
plunge.
face it.
Right. That's really good. I mean, because, let's just face it, when we're like, okay, yeah, I am still really nervous to be in front of the camera still. I'm like, okay, I really got to do it. We just have to go to the next level,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's amazing.
nervous, but
We ours was weird because we've been wanting to get into real estate for about 20 years and we just went around and around, and I had a lot of holdups there. So had to do a lot of growing up in this area. And we'd never heard of Pace, but her being the amazing visionary that she is, she's always looking like, what's the next thing? I've got this future plan. What is the next thing? And so we had gotten into a wholesaling operation just to kind of have a mentorship to get started. And she quickly went through the training. She goes, "This isn't it. This is just not it." And I said, "Okay." I was like, "Well, what is it?" She goes, "I don't know. It's just not this." So randomly, we were following this guy from the Carrot website, the CEO or the owner, and he had a spontaneous pop up, at least for me, that just popped up on Facebook. It's like, we're doing a meetup, up in Addison, and we were like, I was like, okay. So I went down. I was like, "Hey, would you like to go meet the CEO of the Carrot website?" And she like literally jumped out of the couch. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna want to go. So we had like 45 minutes to get there,
Oh
and
my
we
gosh.
made it in
And
like,
it's like a 30-minute drive
yeah,
at least.
we made it. So then we started connecting, and we had this guy from Chicago who just showed up, and he was like listening to us, asking questions, and just digging in. And he goes, "Just sounds like you guys need to go and follow Pace Morby." And I'm like, "Who?" He goes, "Pace Morby." And I'm like, okay. So I'm like always quick on the draw. So I'm like,
Yeah.
"Pace Morby, YouTube." I'm like, all right, this guy looks interesting. Play, pause. Now it's in my library. I'll go back and watch it. I watched 3 videos. I'm like, "You've got to watch this." She
Yes.
watched part of one, and she goes, "Where, this is it. This one. This is
Yeah.
what I was talking about."
Wow.
This is what we were missing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, because of that meeting, I ended up being invited to go to like an in-person event that they were having there. And they had a presentation on creative finance. And I was just so intrigued. And it was like, who do I learn this from? And so it was just so timely that I don't know what that is. 900 notifications. So I'm like, I need to find this. So when I found Pace, it was like I already kind of knew what I was looking for, but like I didn't really know what the answer was. And 1 month to the day later, Pace actually purchased our tickets for an in-person event at that same hotel. So we got to meet Pace in person, and we were like 3 weeks into sub 2
weeks in.
At that point, and it was like, holy cow. I feel like that's exactly describes like our journey, and many people that we've talked to is like this journey of happy accidents, like that you just don't, like you're just following something that's in your gut, that's instinctual, and you just know this is the path you're supposed to be on, and somehow the right opportunities, the right people, and the right resources, you find them on this journey.
Right. It's amazing. Right. I mean, like, I just joined like since April, so like a few months ago, and I just met so many people and like so many opportunities. I'm just like, I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah,
I love it.
well, you have a lot of intelligence, because you recognize like Wes Grant. He's a great person to know. So even though there was miscommunication and we ended up on text.
So thank you for connecting me with him.
Yeah. And I was texting Wes. I was like, I was gonna have some fun with her and just pretend to be you. I was like, but I'm not gonna be that mean. We're for the first time. I'm like, maybe we can joke around later, but I just decided to be kind.
That's true. That's awesome. Well, what are you guys working on right now?
So actually, you start, because then I'll fill in my spot.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So mainly we are working on business acquisitions.
Oh, okay.
And we are looking to acquire businesses that we can either be an owner investor in and have an operator in place, or we are looking for businesses that we can help grow and scale. Specifically, my background is in marketing and sales and strategies. And so I really would love to get in there and help, build out a new strategy, find the ways that we can help this business grow. And I also am a life coach. And so I love working with people one-on-one and working with teams. So building team culture within the business, the company, and just kind of working on improving any of those kinds of areas that I can bring value to. And It's Orlando.
And I'm the systems guy. I'm the integrator.
Oh, you are. What? You guys are the perfect pair. Oh my
I
God.
know.
Yeah.
Which, for the longest time, I used to look at her, and she's always been like this, where she sees the future, she can paint the picture, and like, okay, so this is the stuff, some of the stuff that we need to do to get there. And I'm like, well, I'm just not an entrepreneur because I don't have that. I can't see down. I'm good at discipline. I'm good at being steady. I'm good at the day to day. I'm good at systems, but I'm just gonna have to ride her coattails because I'm not an entrepreneur. I didn't get blessed with the gene. That's what I used to say.
But now you guys are together. It's just like the perfect match.
Right. And coming into sub two, we got recommended to read Rocket Fuel like 20 times.
Wow.
And we are like, okay, we've got to read this
We've heard
book.
it. We have a stack of books to read.
Yeah, let's
but the
read.
21st person told us why.
Why was that?
No, why to read it.
Oh yeah.
Like why it's effective,
Oh,
what
yeah.
kind of, insight it can bring. And so we finally actually did. I actually listened to the Audible and he read it while we were on a plane traveling.
Yeah.
And it was just so impactful, so insightful.
It just helped me to understand not only myself, but to understand her and some of the friction that we'd had throughout our marriage because I didn't understand a lot about her. And also I was trying to cross over into her lane by going, hey, this is somehow I've got to fake it till I make it to be an entrepreneur. And this is what an entrepreneur looks like. So I started crossing over, which caused so much more friction. Reading that book was so good because it separated clearly like here are the strengths for each person as entrepreneurs.
I see.
So it made me feel so relieved going, oh, I just have a different lane.
Yes.
So in the meantime, right now, what I'm doing is working on our CRM, building it up for the business acquisition, making all the connecting the emails, phone numbers, Zooms, all that type of stuff so that we can go out and start acquiring businesses.
Yeah, that's nice. That's awesome. And you're in that program too, right? With Carl Allen. Is it Protege?
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. Like that like I didn't know about any programs before. Like we were just watching Dan Pena. I don't know if you heard him as like a billion-dollar man. Like the only thing I got from him was if you make a call and one person says no, that means you did not make enough phone calls. So I'm like, okay. So I started calling multiple times, like just getting a bunch of no's, and then finally one bank says yes. And that's when we got our first deal and second and third. But yeah.
So,
Gosh.
so what was your first business?
It was an auto registration service. Like instead of going to the DMV, you can come to us and we can get your title transfer, your registration like within 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
Oh,
Do you still have that business?
Yes, we still have that business. It's a baby business. Now we're trying to go from instead of B2C, we're going to do B2B. Like
Mhm.
yeah, so like businesses that have multiple vehicles or dealers. So that way we're just focusing on servicing that. Yeah.
Right, and that's
Incredible.
huge. Like that can grow a lot because you've got a lot of companies. Right now, I'm a police officer and I work as a DOT inspector. So I deal with a lot of trucking companies who have 50, 60, 100, 200
Yeah.
trucks,
Right,
and they
right.
have to do that.
Right. And I don't know about other states, but like California is like really, really like notorious about if you're one day late, you can literally be paying like $700, $800 in late fee by one day. So like that value alone. So if you have that tracking system and register their vehicles before they're late, you can save them thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was the first business, and that was like one of the smaller business, but still, we literally took all of our savings. I mean, like our bank account was like zero, and we're like, holy cow! Like, what did we just do? Like, did we make the right decision? We had 3 kids. Like, we have 3 kids. Like, are we making the right decision? We were so nervous, but then the following day when we closed, the revenue that was from the business came to our bank account. I'm like, oh my God. Like the light bulb just went in my head. Like, you mean I give you the money and then you give it back to me the next day? Like, I can do this all day long. Yeah. So ever since then, I was like so intrigued. I'm like, oh my God, like that's like almost like cheating in life. Like, like you're paying for the speed. So after that, that's how we got the second business and got a little cocky, but there were some issues and you just kind of learning Yeah, so you're never going to be perfect. And then when we landed our third business, which is the assisted living, and again, like being a background as a nurse, that just really like drawn to me. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is it. Like this is it. The other ones, yes, they make great money, and it's just this was like serving a purpose. And we kind of bought it in a wrong time, really, during COVID. Just like we were known to be like the bad place, you know what I mean? Like, what is
Yeah.
a yeah, so like that was like such a dark time in my life, and I was like, "Oh my God, I definitely made a mistake here. Like, oh my God, like where do I fit in here?" And I remember I actually had COVID myself, and everybody was calling off. And in California, I don't know about other states, but the government was giving money for you to call out sick. So
Yeah.
people were just like, "Well, why do I need to come to work if I can sick, right?" So it's just me and my husband and this new guy that I just hire taking care of 13 residents. And I'm like, oh my God, and I'm super sick. I just gowned up, put my mask on, cried, finished crying. And I walked in and took care of my residents like day after day. Like every morning I remember crying. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, was this like, did I make a mistake? You know, like, I mean, like, but then I realized that these guys need me. And so that's what gave me the strength to just keep going. And then after that, I'm like, now, if we made it through COVID, we can make it through anything. I'm ready.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Yeah.
so this one is another assisted living facility that you're about to buy or that you have
Yes.
bought?
Well,
Amazing.
yeah, so the first one was a 15-bed facility, and
Uh-huh.
I, first year took the time to understand the business and understanding mind shift really, because we bought 1 and 2 and 3 kind of right after the other, and not having that fully mindset of an employee mindset versus an owner mindset. And I was going through that, like trying to figuring out like, oh my gosh. And so that first year I kind of studied the business and trying to understand how to build better team and how to bring customers, and that marketing piece is always so intriguing to me, by the way, so we'll circle back to you.
Yes. Love
Yeah,
to.
so that was the first year, and then second year, the second year in, I'm like, you know what, I need, now that I understand how to do this business, how do I grow from here? So then I replaced my assistant doing my job. But in order for me to tell her to do my job, I need to know what my job was so that she could replace me. And then when I did that, it freed up a lot of my time. And then that's when I, again, open up and see that the opportunities I can expand.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
So wait, I have a question. So
Uh-huh.
when you joined Sub 2, did you know that Pace was about to teach business acquisition as well? Or
No,
you
but
wanted
that
to
was like,
learn real estate and this was another happy accident on the journey?
right. Yes. Yes. So I was actually thinking, I'm like, well, I don't have, now that I freed up a lot of my time, I had nothing to do. So I'm like, let me learn how to invest in real estate. And I was just trying to see where I would go from there, like single family. But I'm like, but that's a lot of areas that I need to study the market, blah, 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 or multifamily or whatever. And then, but in the meantime, I also was studying the method that he does, like what all the exit strategies, the Morby method, and whatever. So when I was learning the Morby method, I was like, ooh, I wonder if I can apply that to business buying. So this was before Pace was going to come out with the business acquisition. So with the Morby method, I'm like, oh, okay. So if I'm buying a business, really, if the sellers, and by the way, a lot of sellers are willing to do seller finance, but they want a big chunk down. And that's the part where we need to figure it out. But if you think about the Morby method, you can literally just buy any business or seller, the whole seller finance. But the Morby method, we didn't use that. It's just help. It was just another tool for me to look at something at a higher price range.
Mm.
Right? Because we were looking at another facility, and it was a 15-bed, and it was like 2 million. They want $3 million, and I'm like, okay, so we'll look at that. But then I'm like, well, what about this one here at 9.5? Like, if I can use the Morby method, I can really have enough down payment for that.
Yeah.
And that's how I approached it. But we didn't go with the Morby method. We just ended up doing like a seller finance lease option type of deal.
Oh
That's
gosh,
incredible.
incredible.
Like,
That's
wait, what just happened again? Like, I'm not sure. So Pace is actually kind enough for me to get in touch with his attorney, Matt Sorsen, and he is so kind that he'll be like sponsoring that and paying for everything.
That's amazing. Yeah, he's mentioned you in the last two Zooms. It's like,
Really?
and
Oh my God.
Kay's buying this $9 million assisted living facility. Like, it's amazing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I just connected with her.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, that is so crazy because I still like I'm saying, like, I don't even know how that it was a happy accident, like you were saying, you know, and just
Seriously.
over but same process though. This is what I learned is that whatever I've learned from real estate side, like finding the bunnies, really truly trying to help your sellers out and overcoming the broker so you can get to the seller. And when we did that, we found their bunnies and then we were able to structure a deal.
Yeah, that was the most amazing light bulb moment for me when I went to the mastermind with Abraham Gray and Carl Allen, where they're talking about business acquisitions. Like, I was very excited about the concept, but I was like, do I really need to go into another lane? Because at this point, we've learned creative finance and like the wholesaling aspect of single family acquisition. And then we've also studied multifamily, which is very similar. It's like single family, but at scale. And
Mhm.
business seemed to be a completely different lane for me. And I actually was speaking one on one with Carl Allen, and he's saying, no, there's like a 70% crossover in the process. They're
Right.
all the same
Yes,
process.
yes. I
And business all breaks down to the same things. It's sales, marketing, and systems.
right.
And if you understand these things and have experience in the field, like you can do this. And so that was like the moment that it was like, this is possible for us. Like it never occurred to me that the things I had learned before, the experiences that I had could all, come together and make sense. And this concept of buying a business seems so like, okay, we'll do that when we're at that level. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, we're here.
Yeah.
Right, right. And mine was the other way. I was like, okay, well, this buying multifamily or investing in real estate, I'm like, okay, let me just focus on the business portion of it because that allows me to propel forward and have extra money to invest in real estate. So I was focusing on that portion of it. And so now they're like, oh, well, but you can do both. You can invest in real estate and you can buy businesses.
Well, that's kind of what happened
Yep.
for us because, we did the same thing, shiny object syndrome, you explore this and then it's like, okay, that's not quite the fit. And then you
Yeah.
explore, "Well, that's not quite the fit."
Yeah.
So we kind of came over and it's like, man, we really, really want to do business acquisitions, like, learning about it, the challenges of scaling the business, and putting SOPs in and stuff like that. And we were like, well, if we get two or three businesses and we're getting, good amount of cash that's coming in, then we can just turn around and become buyers.
Yes.
And that's where we really wanted to land, but we were like, we've
Right.
got to do the wholesale route. We've got to start an acquisition company. Let's start that. And then we love having conversations among each other. We'll have conversations for hours going back and forth about the problem.
Yeah,
And it,
yeah, that's me and my husband. Yeah. Like he's
and
in the
so,
bathroom like knocking, "Hey, guess what? Look at this deal." That was just so very that was more me, but he's like more of the chill guy and I'm like the total opposite, like super energetic. Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah,
I
no,
love it.
I mean, we have some of our best realizations that way because a lot of times when you look back on your journey, you look at all the little decisions that you made that at the time seemed so insignificant, and it would came either from a conversation or an idea, and then all of a sudden you're here, and it's like, if we hadn't made this decision, if we hadn't made this one, and if we hadn't made this one, we literally wouldn't be right where we're at right now, about to do what we're
Right.
about to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And being at the right place is being at the right place and in the right room at the right time. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Ab
incredible. That's incredible. My gosh, I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing. Like that again, to have just jumped into business acquisition, not really, fully understanding the process there, but just being courageous enough to like, let's get started, and then turning around and using your expertise, your experience to go into a field that you had some confidence in and everything that you've learned in the middle of COVID, no less.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Seriously.
that's incredible. And now you're about to buy your biggest business yet.
Yes.
When does that close?
So we're supposed to close on September 1st. I'm actually going to go on Monday as a consultant, um, just to start working on the business. And the paper portion of it, we could close sooner. It's just the licensing portion of it. Like technically our company can't take over until the official 30-day announcement,
Right.
technicality. But yeah, so September 1st is where.
So the day zero down launches is when you're closing your business.
Oh my gosh, yes it is, huh? Oh my
Talk
gosh.
about ground floor. My
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
What an amazing story. Like, again, like you really need to share your story and put that out there because you can go and talk about your journey, how you got into sub two, not knowing that zero down was about to happen. And then the day you close your biggest business yet is the day that it launches.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Oh my God.
and just imagine a year from now, after you've gone through a lot of the training, how much more different that's going to look.
Right. I just can't wait. And it's just like I even making me feel so nervous just to think about this. It's like now I need to study more. Now I need to know more. What am I actually doing? How did I even get here? And you were talking about system. Well, I need system. And then you're talking about marketing. That those two, please. Like I'm definitely, I don't know if you are like, do you develop your SOPs on your own, or is that what you're specialized in?
No, not specializing in, but as we're going through, a lot of it is we've thought about it and talked about it. So we are putting our SOPs in place. And a lot of it, as we're going through, it's like we realize, ooh, we need to have SOPs in place because we ran into this problem and it could have been avoided had we done something. So what we're doing is developing it on our own. I'd love to get to the place that we could hire that out and have a company help us, but we're not there yet. So
Right. Yeah.
it ourselves.
For sure. So like right now, like what I was saying, like I know the system for my 15-bed facility. I'm going to duplicate that. It's all up in here, but I'm like, I need to have it on paper so that we can, repeat and everybody can sing the same song and we can just do it over and over. So having that system is gonna really, me and my husband, we're gonna sit down and develop that system because now we have a bigger facility. We actually have another deal in a pipeline for 34 bed where we don't have to come up with any of our down payment, which is crazy. Like when you're thinking about this and it's just like I'm like, okay, how do I do all these deals at the same time if I don't have system in place? Like understanding but I know the business really well, that how do I duplicate again not being there? Like that's where I'm at right now.
Well, and you're a part of Project Forward as well?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, essentially what you're trying to do is create clones.
Yeah.
Create clones of
So
yourself
yeah.
or create clones of the person who's there in that position doing what they're doing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be written. It can be written, but it can also be in a video course type training module that this is, you could do it through conversation where you're just, this is what we're doing, and you could even walk through it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. That could be filmed on an iPhone.
You know
And
what? I think that's a really great idea, the video portion of it, because
Mhm.
that's going to be time consuming when you do it on papers. But yeah, I can talk all day long on what you should do, how from bringing a client and from how do you, just all the way.
Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly why I'm suggesting it, because you are a very conversational person. You know the system inside and out. You know what you want done and what needs to be done. And it's easier for you to verbalize that probably than
Yeah.
writing. And I
Yeah.
work the same way. I'm a verbal processor.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if I'm stuck somewhere or if I'm training and I'm talking about, this is how we did it, I want to be on video or I want to be on a voice recording, recording that out. And
Yeah.
actually, I got that advice from a course on writing a book. And they said, writing a book doesn't mean that you're actually like sitting and writing by a pen or typing on the computer. If you are someone who enjoys speaking or someone who enjoys visual and video and that kind of thing, go with your talent and you can transcribe it. You can translate it into writing if you need to. But once it's done, have that conversation already recorded for you. Somebody else can transcribe it for you, or a service can transcribe it,
That
or
is such a
someone can
great
translate it
idea.
into SOPs that are written, whatever you need to accomplish. But it's just about it's honestly about infusing creativity and your natural skill into what you're trying to accomplish.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's exactly why I haven't done it. My husband's like, well, just write it down and I'll do it. I'm like, okay, but I still have to write it down. That's the part that I don't want to do. But now you're right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so glad we got connected because that's what I'm going to start doing now. So instead of me writing it out, we're just going to record it and give it to him so he can build it for us.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you've also you've heard of Loom, right?
No.
Okay, so Pace does a lot of Looms, and that's where you have your screen that you're sharing, and he can show you whatever it is he's doing, and it's got a little circle with your picture on it or with your video on it, and you're talking. And so whoever your systems person is, whether that's you or your husband, like if you're trying to train someone new to come in and work on the software,
Yeah.
if you're doing an intake form, here's what you do. And here, walking through an intake form, if you know, if you,
So that your form is on the
Yeah.
screen and
Yeah.
your picture is in the side. So you're talking, creating a video and a walkthrough, and your
I
screen sharing
see.
at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. That would definitely help out for sure. Oh my gosh. And just kind of circling back on you guys buying that business, for me, it was like a little bit easier to get into because it's the same thing. Like you only need to know about the revenue and the expenses and the work, even though you don't know the business, but you have the owner, you got the expert in house. Like you're just going to download it from them. And if you build that relationship with them, most of them are going to want you to succeed. So they're willing to be there to train you. And hopefully you already built that rapport that they will be there after you guys close and after 2 weeks or the 1 month, because we still keep in contact with all of our previous owners and they have still helped us, like some, just to keep in touch.
that's
But
amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's something that's very big for us is like we're all about relationships and providing value.
mhm,
And we want to do that all the time. And, we understand like if you provide value to people, they naturally, if they have those kind heart, they want to provide that value back. And so that's really encouraging for you to hear from you that owners are really, really wanting to help you out
yeah,
and work with you because like I'm like we've talked about it before. It's like we want to come away with friends, whether it's buying real estate or whether it's buying businesses. Like we want to meet new people that are amazing and we help each other out. Like if it's not a win scenario across the board for everyone involved, then we didn't do our jobs well. We didn't help enough.
Yeah.
right,
And the
right,
only way for you to allow a win for the company that they created is to also, listen to them and their advice and their process and like how did you build it and have success and what are you doing that you want to keep the same, because this is a part of their legacy and their
right,
heart that they've poured into this business. And
right,
so you really want to honor that, respect it, and apply their knowledge and training
yeah,
moving forward.
right. The operation for sure. And then there's always a lot of improvements, like, obviously a lot of these businesses are old school, still
Mhm.
papers and facts and all of that. And you guys come in and upgrade that piece of it to make it more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're looking forward to doing. We're
Yeah.
really excited about it, getting a few businesses under our belts, and then going into where we are consulting for equity. That sounds amazing. Like helping people win and still stay in the business, and we provide value to each other. That's just
Yeah.
we're really excited about this journey, and so we love connecting with people like you that are in the same place. And I know that's something you were wanting. I'm like, I need more business friends. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And it felt really lonely, not gonna lie. I'm like 35. Am I 36? 36 years old. And like all my friends are still doing the same thing. And I'm like, can't really relate and sharing the struggles. So being in sub two just made me feel so normal, like just the go-getters and go-givers, and that makes me feel so, so good. Even though I didn't get a deal, I just felt like I belonged there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
same experience for us because we were on the path of a lot of growth coming into sub two. I felt like as soon as we got into sub two, it's like we punched the accelerator with everything that we were going through and the people we were meeting. It's like we literally looked at each other and said, we've met our people. We've met
Yeah.
our people.
Oh,
It's our
Yeah.
family because we've been looking
yeah.
for this community like ever since we've been married. And we've
Oh,
been married almost 20 years. And so
wow.
it's like, where have you all been all our lives?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, we would love to meet you guys in person. Remind me, you're in Texas now. You guys moved to
We're
Texas.
in Dallas.
Dallas, really? Okay. Which part of
Yes.
Dallas?
We're actually more on the west side. We're Grand Prairie,
Grand Prairie.
right
Okay.
between Dallas
Yes.
and Arlington, right on the outskirts.
Yes. Yes. We live in Rowlett. Yeah, my family's still in Rowlett, so we're not too
Amazing.
Okay, so when you come visit, then we have to meet up.
Yes, and actually we
far.
host a monthly meetup
Oh,
as
nice.
well. So if that happens to coincide and you can jump in on the meetup
Yeah,
and
that's awesome. Is that for real estate and business or just all together?
All of it, all
Yeah.
of it. If
Yeah.
you're an entrepreneur, we want
Yes.
you there.
Well, no, if you're an investor.
Investor.
Yeah. Because an entrepreneur is like so broad, you know, but like, no, but if you're an investor and you're investing in single family, multifamily businesses, if you're involved in real estate, you know, in some capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Awesome. We'd
that
love
would,
to join you guys for sure.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we
So
would
let
love
us
that.
know the next time you're coming over. I mean, you have my phone number, so
Yes.
send a message on Facebook or text me. You know you're texting the right guy now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's incredible.
I love it. Is there anything else that we can help you with that you're like needing right now?
Well, I would love to connect with you later on like the marketing piece of how to really, so what I've gotten so far with the assisted living is, you know, obviously connecting with the case manager, doing events on our facility, like open house type of deal, and like bringing the community, joining commerce, chamber of commerce.
Mhm.
What else? Online presence, right?
Social
What,
media.
yeah, social media. What are things that I could do in this type of marketing for this type of business?
Ooh, I
And it's
love
such a people, I still feel that it's such a people business that the connections with other companies like really um outperform like the online marketing, like with the discharge planners from the hospital or skilled nursing facilities. That's huge in this business, but I just want to make sure that I'm not missing um you know, anything else that I can
So
implement.
I actually wonder if, ooh, this is really fun. I love thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, and I will circle back. You don't have to answer now, but that's what
Well,
kind of.
I have an idea that's popping into my head. And like it wasn't, I was just like, I don't know because I don't know the space. But what you are when you're building an online presence, like you need to think about your avatar, like who your clients are that you're bringing in. Okay. So most of the people that you are marketing to, are they going to be like the children of
Yeah,
the,
Susan, the daughter
of
of.
the yeah,
Yeah.
children of the patient who are, I don't know, her client who would be in the assisted living facility? They're going to be the ones that you want to market to.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to want to market to them where they hang out. So maybe it's, you know, Facebook, Instagram, those kinds of places. But I would imagine that you would have a lot of success with Pinterest.
Hmm.
And you could do that by like creating some sort of an ebook or something like that, just like downloading the brochure. Here's some information about our facility. You know, this is why we're amazing, why we stand out. These are our values. This is what we believe in. And you can position yourself as a trusted pair of hands, which is ultimately what they're looking for. You have to be able to speak to their pain points, which is that they need a trusted space for their family member, and that's what they're ultimately trying to achieve. And I would imagine that you could create a really cool you know, ebook that you can place on Pinterest that would
Yeah.
get
Oh my
pinned
gosh,
around,
that's a really
and
good
that
idea.
would actually be like
Yeah.
pretty much evergreen, because you pretty much like, it's not evergreen, but like you create it once and it just keeps going around.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. You know what? That is a great idea. Yeah. I'll deep dive into that. And like I said, I'm probably gonna text you because I only have your phone number, Orlando, and may just pick your brain on that.
Yeah, well,
I'll give her your contact. That way she can have you guys can text back and forth as
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd
And
love to help you.
always text me or call me. Really, I know this was like an official, and it seems like everybody's busy and we got to do a Calendly, but no, you can shoot me a text. Hey, Kay, are you available? I'll be available to answer any questions when it comes to businesses, you know. But again, like, I mean, unexperienced, non-licensed professionals here. So, but I can give you any advice or any
If you've got experience where it counts, you've done it. You're doing it. Like that, I'll take that any day over anyone like, well, I've got all these degrees. Okay, that's worth something for sure. But show me somebody who's been in the trenches, who has figured things out, who has gone through struggles and overcome and is still going forward and moving forward and growing.
Yeah.
I'll go with that person any
Doing
day.
it messy.
Any day.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, feel free to call or text me.
Likewise, if
Yeah.
you any ideas that you need, or you just want to have us as a sounding boards, like I've got ideas, because we do that all the time. She solves her own problems all the time. Like she'll say, I got a problem, I need your help on. And then she'll start talking about the problem. She goes, oh, never mind, I solved it. I'm like, I could help.
Verbal processing.
It's her
Okay.
strength.
I have one more thought, because the other thing is, if with marketing, you probably want to go more with like an evergreen type of thing that you can just, you're creating clones, right? I love Project Forward so freaking much because you're creating clones. The other really cool thing that you could do is a YouTube channel that is telling the stories. Any stories that you can figure out where you're telling the story of the person, you know, that has their parent in this facility, your resident themselves, you're interviewing the nurses who are, you know, on site on the facility, interview with you, you're the owner, because the more information that you can put out there that says we care and you trust us, the more you will address that pain point. And pain motivates people 97%. No, 99. Only 1% of people are actually motivated by goals. Only 1%. So when marketing, you really want to focus on what the pain points are of the avatar that you are speaking directly to. And the more that you can address that with stories and personal relation, the better. And the thing is, you're a conversationalist. So the more conversations that you can have, the more stories that you can tell that, you know, live as clones, the better for you. And then you can also link it to Pinterest and go, if you want a brochure, here's a brochure you can download or whatever.
Yeah.
Or link it to Pinterest. It can just be, it can live in a Google Drive.
Right. That's so awesome. That, you know what? And I was kind of stuck. I could just create a different YouTube channel because I know that I was doing one for myself in the investing, you know.
Yeah. Oh no, you wanna follow
right.
them.
You don't want them to be talking about, oh, you're making money off of my parents, you know, like you don't want to see that side of it, but you want to talk about the business and just keep it separate. And then maybe channel it to your website of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Could even have like a video in the day in the life of, and, you know, highlight one of your employees.
Yeah. Walk through video, you know, here's a tour of the facility, like as much information as you can to make it take the fear out for them.
Yes.
That's what I would want to see if it were, you know.
Or like even interviewing, you know, my staff and why they love this job and just showing that caring aspect of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Oh, absolutely. If I can help you anymore, please. He's going to forward you my info. We'll be in touch. I'd love to talk to you anytime too. So.
Oh my God, I'm excited. Thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure there'll be more to come up. Like right now, I'm just like trying to process everything. I'm like, wow, like your journey is really incredible. And we appreciate you like sharing that, because I love stories. If you could tell me a story, that helps me to like relate to someone. So
and my value takeaway from you is just hearing your journey and hearing that you did it messy and accidentally at times, and it's still something that works out. Because I think I get in my head a lot, like I gotta over prepare, I gotta make this perfect. I don't want to do that anymore. Just do it.
But one thing that I do want to point out though, like the reason why we were able to do it, because I had a really great support. My husband and I, like he's my rock, and you guys seem to be that way. Like you can't do this alone. The good thing about you guys is that if you're going through it, you can look at him and you guys can figure it out together. If you don't have the two in the same align, we have a lot of friends who are getting in the business together, and if their spouse is not in it, now you're walking this journey alone, and that could be tough. So having you guys together, you guys are going to make it.
Not only do we have each other, but now, like we've just added one. Like you're now in our circle. This is somebody that we can collaborate with, that we can provide value to. You provided a whole bunch of value, and just kind of taking more of that uneasiness out. That again, like she said, you did, and you just went into it. And look at where you are. Look at where you are. Like you've got Pace talking about you on 2 different Zooms. He's brought
Oh
you
my
out
gosh,
twice.
I gotta go find it just to hear it, just to make it real.
And it was funny because you told me what you were doing, and then Pace said it, and I'm like, oh, that's Kay. So it was incredible. It was
That's
incredible.
awesome.
Well,
I love it.
so very nice to meet you. So great to hear your journey. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. I'm going to be looking forward to September 1st and getting an update from you. Like, how's it going?
Yes,
Definitely.
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kay.
you.
So nice meeting you.
Yes.
Hope you guys
All right, take care.
take care. Bye.